皆様、続いてのセッションは2体の天才が語る今日本が取り組むべきデジタル戦略でございます。でもまずはじめに踊り端子の独占インタビューを務めたアイランド編集長の八木さんから皆様にプレゼントのお知らせがあります。八木さん、どうぞステージに登壇お願いいたします。八木さん、ありがとうございます。お願いいたします。
皆様、本日はお忙しい中 WebX2024 にご参加いただき誠にありがとうございます。IoLite Web3 専門誌の編集長を務めております、株式会社 JCAM の八木と申します。今回ご登壇されるオードリー・タン氏は弊社 IoLite が独占インタビューを実施してその内容を最新号にて掲載しております。デジタル時代の未来を見据えた洞察に満ちたインタビューになっており、本日この会場にご参加の皆様にはIoLite の T シャツを着たコンパニオンの方々が持っている名刺投函用ボックスに名刺を入れていただくと今回の最新号がプレゼントさせていただきます。どうぞこの貴重な機会を通じて日台両国のデジタル戦略の最前線に触れ皆様のビジネスに新たなインスピレーションを得ていただければ幸いです。それではセッションをお楽しみください。
ありがとうございます。So our next session will begin with Audrey Tang, the co-founder of Plurality, Taiwan's first digital minister, and Takahiro Anno, the CEO of Management Machine Incorporated. Please, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy a fireside chat with Audrey Tang. And now, please come to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here and very happy to see Ano-san again. I invited you to Taipei. Thank you for attending the Plurality Summit.
Yeah, last week I went to Taiwan. I'm really happy to be here. At first, can I correct the title of this session? This session says Digital Strategy of Japan from two geniuses from Taiwan and Japan. It's not true. I think one genius and one ordinary person.
I'll be the ordinary person.
No. And at first, I'd like to ask you, how do you see Japanese situation? Because you are not Japanese, so you can see Japan from outside, so you can see objectively. So in a digital, as digital strategy, how do you see?
Yeah, in Taiwan, in traditional Mandarin, digital, 数位, also means more than one, like plural. And so there's a strong emphasis in Taiwan when we make sure that the digital infrastructure serves everyone, leave no one behind. And I think this is a value that is shared with the Japanese digital strategy here. During the pandemic, we had a lot of co-creation with the civil society, with the civic technologists. After the pandemic, a lot of our work in the digital ministry is to turn those one-shot situational applications into public infrastructures. So each project costs more than 1 billion yen to take those one-shot systems so that we have a stable identity layer, decentralized identity, selective disclosure, verifiable credentials. That's one project. We have a comprehensive way to do digital signatures and also share the GPU that is needed for the SMEs to do AI-related computing and training. That is another project. There's many, many more projects like this. And so I see a very similar commitment so that the infrastructure level investment leaves no one behind. Instead of people who can't afford such digital solutions, I think the Japanese strategy is very similar to the Taiwan one, which is to leave no one behind. How do you see from the Japanese point of view?
I think, as you said, it is true. We recently invest in GPU a lot, and but I see there is a lot of problem or difficulty. For example, I helped a digital agency recently, and I see it is really hard to make software explorationally. So in the government, the process of the making software is like waterfall process, and it is not agile process. So we need to determine every functions before we make a contract. So it is really hard to explore the opportunity, and to make good software, we need observe and changing the priority in daily basis.
Yeah, more modular, more agile.
Yeah, more agile. So is it same in Taiwan?
Yeah. We have very different funding streams for different maturity of the software projects. At the initial stage, for proof of concept, we usually use like the presidential hackathon or the quadratic funding round that encourages the local people to start a proof of concept in their neighborhood. At that stage, it doesn't cost so much money. But if their idea really tackles the issue locally, we have ways to surface such teams using quadratic voting, quadratic funding, a lot of the ideas that was prototyped here in the Web3 space, like with Gitcoin and so on. We elevate those ideas into the national infrastructure level and then commit more budget to make the underlying infrastructure more solid. So in design thinking terms, the discover and define, that is crowdsourced. But the infrastructure level, the delivery, that is very top-down. But we do not move to this stage without a year or two of this very exploratory process. And this is often structured as a grant or as an award, not as a procurement. So maybe this is also something that you can suggest.
So it makes really sense. There is two-stage model, and I think we can do it in. But I heard that there is regulatory, so there should be some difficulty. But anyway. I'd like to ask you one more question. How do you see the strengths of Japanese government or Japanese company or Japanese individual in digital democracy, digital strategy?
Yeah. Well, I think what I have observed when I visit to Japan is that all the infrastructure level building blocks, people take care of them like they would a commons, like a public park or things like that. So as long as it serves community value, the largest private sector brands and so on are not shy of associating their names to those infrastructure level commitments. So unlike in many other countries that I went to, where the idea of blockchain or cryptocurrency is heavily associated with speculation or with more degenerate uses, here I see almost always a association with a very strong communal uses. And so I think this purpose orientation, this is very important. And I think you also mentioned something like that in your governor's campaign, right? Using technology to make sure that nobody gets left behind, but also make sure that private sector has a role to play in this. So tell me a little bit about your campaign, because in your campaign you used AI as a kind of agent, a double, and I recently saw that you have a fiction about a AI agent startup. So do you see your campaign as a kind of a startup that makes this digital democracy, digital strategy, private sector, like all roll together into a platform? How did you think of things this way?
Well, you know about my new novel. Actually, I was at first this is kind of PR, but last month I published my new novel named Matsuoka Madoka Kigyo Shimasu, which novel is all about the girl who tried to make the startup company, and that startup company is focused on AI agent. AI agent is the AI software that autonomously doing something instead of us. Before I became the sci-fi writer, I was in the startup industry, and I know the way of doing in the startup. In the startup industry, there is many uncertainty, and there is high risk, and you need to move fast. The speed is the key role. And actually, last election, I bring those startup way into the political field, and for example, I set up the AI agent named AI Anno on the YouTube and phone call, and citizens can ask anything about me or about my policy on the YouTube or the phone call. And what I see is surprising. Many people actually use it. Over 8,000 questions is asked in just 17 days. And obviously, we cannot. A candidate cannot answer those kind of huge amount of questions. In addition to that, I was surprised. Many people have a respect when they talk to my AI agent.
So they're not abusing the
They
robot.
are not abusing it. A few people abuse it, but most people have a respect. And I'm thinking about future AI, the relationship between future AI and us. I'm wondering, will we have respect to AI agent, or we will use it as a tool, just a tool? Some people say you don't have to have empathy to AI thing. It's absurd. Some people say, but I'm not sure. How do you think about it?
Yeah, I think if an AI system cares about our community, then having empathy to it makes some sense. But if there is no way for them to care about us more, then having empathy to them doesn't make sense.
So it's kind of a reciprocal
yes, I think it's reciprocal. And many AI systems now are fixed. in their values, in their model specification. But nowadays, there's also a way for community to build their own models based on the open source models or fine-tuning existing models. So there is what we call this constitutional alignment, so that just like in your campaign, people can say hashtag Tokyo AI to add to your platform, or even on GitHub change your platform. If your platform change, then your AI also change in the questions and the answers it can serve, right? So if the community has a way to make sure that this AI system care every day about our values more, and if what we care about have a way to transfer to the AI system so that they start care about the things that we start to care about now, then it makes more sense for us to say, oh, the AI system now care about community, so we should care about its continued well-being, so to speak.
That makes sense. Yeah, I strongly agree with you. I'm wondering, Japanese really like Doraemon. And
I like Doraemon too.
Do you think there will be AI agent or AI like Doraemon in the near future?
Yeah, I'm sure that to design something like Doraemon in terms of its interaction and so on, that is not too difficult to appear like Doraemon. But actually in the comic, Doraemon comes up with a lot of new tools. Those tools may be outside.
Yeah, it's physically almost impossible.
I know, yeah, it's fiction.
Four-dimension
Right,
pockets.
four-dimension pockets and so on. But just have a way of a AI assistant that enhances the dignity of people instead of overtaking it. I think that is important to ensure that AI systems show a constant care, and that when the people on the society side make like social corrections, socialize the AI, and the AI system need to also learn from that experience. I think this kind of co-domestication is what we're going to see in the next few years.
Yeah, you were saying reminded me of Roomba, Roomba robot. Roomba robot is sometimes go to the corner and it cannot move, and people sometimes care about the Roomba. So it reminded me of that kind of story.
Yeah, and I think there is a strong will for us to program or to align or to domesticate AI. It used to be that you need to know a lot about Python or about programming language to do so, but I see that in your fiction, people just use natural language. Is that something that you are working on?
Yeah, I think current AI doesn't require us to know the detail of the computer science. I think it is a huge chance for Japanese. For example, I feel that Japanese doesn't have high IT skills, IT literacy. However, Japanese have high communication skill between the human using the language.
Read the air.
Yeah, yes, read the air. But it can be a strong point in the AI era. So I see this is a huge chance for us.
So the social emotional intelligence can be applied to make AI better.
Exactly. And in addition to that, when the new technology rises, the industry will change dramatically. For example, when the internet happened, many internet companies will rise. And when the smartphone happened, many company rises. And this can be a chance because now we see AI will be rise. And in addition to that, Japanese population will decrease rapidly, and every industry, every company in Japan experience shortage of the laborers, workforces. So in that situation, we have strong incentive to utilize AI technology compared to other country. So currently, we are behind. Our engineering level is behind compared to US, China. However, I see there is a good chance, a lot of chance to utilizing layer, application layer, there is a huge chance for Japanese company or individuals.
Right. So as long as the infrastructure layer is shared globally,
Yeah.
the application layer can be leapfrogged, right? From
Yes,
the
yes,
Japanese
it
industry.
is kind of leapfrog. In AI, there is I feel there is a 3 layers. One is semiconductor layers. TSMC dominates.
Which is
this
also in
market.
Japan now.
Yeah, which is also in Japan now, Kumamoto. And the second layer is foundation model layer. OpenAI or Google, Facebook, those kinds of company dominates now. But on top of it, there is an application layer using the foundation model and make concrete profit. Those kinds of layer, we have a lot of chance, I think.
Right, and as the middle layer becomes more and more of a commodity, right, and inference become very fast, that creates a kind of like the rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
application
yeah.
layer.
That's
I
my
totally agree.
hypothesis. When I went to Taiwan, I went to the bookstore and I found that there's a lots of STEM book. I mean the science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Many people have positive to learn it. Is my impression correct?
Yes, even the plurality book, right, which is very heavy in science and math and engineering, in some of the chapters, they were placed very prominently. I think that's partly because in Taiwan, we don't make the distinction between STEM and art and design as 2 different disciplines. We have the STEAM D idea, where the science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics, and design, are the same thing. And what we say in Mandarin, like when we say a programmer, a 程式设计师, is actually a program designer, not a engineer. Because if you say just engineer, it sounds like you talk mostly to machines. But as you said, nowadays in low-code, no-code world, even the architects have to spend time communicating with people and also communicating with systems that also interact in natural language. And so it is far more likely for us to take a service design perspective instead of a purely engineering perspective. And it is not just more inclusive, but it also makes it easier for people to get into the STEM because once you have this design mindset, you think about a concrete issue to be solved. You think about the concrete ideas to be implemented. It is not just studying. It is actually purpose-based learning.
Yeah, it is very interesting. So is it ordinary way to say programmers?
Designers.
And designers. Wow, I see. I think one key, the importance of the IT literacy will be increased, and at the same time, the problem finding skill, how do I say? How to find the problem is really important.
Yeah, that's design skill.
It's design skill, and currently Japanese education system almost ignored this skill. Is it same in Taiwan, or you recently started, or?
Yeah, we recently changed the curriculum, and the curriculum was changed because of the participation from students, from parents, and so on. It was changed in 2019. Before 2019, we were more like the thing you talk about literacy and so on. But in 2019, we changed like digital literacy to digital competence. media literacy to media competence. Because literacy is when you receive, when there's a standard answer, when you're making studies in an individual basis. But competence is when you produce, when you contribute, when you are in the commons and solving the societal issues, making societal impact. And so I think this competence-based thinking really liberates the students from having to compete against robots in terms of memory. It is not possible, but rather focusing, for example, on measuring the quality of air, of water, or the public conversations to do fact building and checking together and so on. So each project that they do, they contribute positively to the society. And that is, again, a more design thinking way of thinking about STEM.
Very, very interesting. We have only 3 minutes to left. Finally, I'd like to ask you your next step. You recently published the book Plurality. And how do you do next? What will you do next?
Well, working on the next edition, but because there's a lot of pull requests. People around the world, if they see the book, it is free of copyright. Any of you can contribute and have pull requests, so it makes to the next edition. And there's also many projects that are using ideas from the book. For example, in the book, there is a chapter called Media, where we talk about social media that is not antisocial, that doesn't only want to sell you advertisements. Because currently in many social media companies, if you post on that platform, you can only view it on that platform, unlike email or podcasts or other formats or instant messaging. So in the ideas of a pro-social media, if you post on a platform, you can actually curate it from another recommendation engine, from another platform, so that it stays interoperable. And this is also something that the Web3 world is now working on with Farcaster, Lens Protocol, with Mastodon, and many other decentralized ideas. Now, the good thing about those decentralized systems is that each can serve one community, so it doesn't need to make you meet strangers that doesn't share your norms and culture and so on. But if you want to curate, you can still write a curate engine. And so because of that, it is less likely to waste people's time on addiction and so on. So I'm now working with Project Liberty. They're already applying this decentralized social to the MeWe platform. More than 1 million accounts have been migrated. And now they're working on putting a bid to TikTok to try to convert TikTok, the US part, into this kind of decentralized social. So what about your next step?
My next step, I'm thinking about it. Actually, last election, through last election, I think I can contribute to this area, digital democracy, because when I talked with politicians in Japanese, they all say we don't know digital technology, but the importance of technology will increase. In that area, I feel I can do something. So someday I may run for another election, or some other option is I help the administration, government from outside or inside. So now I talk with many people and thinking about what should I do.
Yeah, the Ano stack for broad listening. Right.
Yes.
Thank you for this opportunity for the conversation, and thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。それはどうぞ。Oh, please, we would like to take a Audrey, we'd like to take a commemorative photo, please. In the center, right in the center. Yeah, thank you. はい、記念写真を撮っていただきたいと思います。ありがとうございます。And if you could both please wait in the side, we're going to give you the photographs, okay? So please wait on the side over in the hall before you leave. もう一度大きな拍手をお送りください。なかなかすごいね。すごい方ばっかりですけれども、それでは次のセッションまでしばらくお待ちください。We'll be starting our next session in just a few moments, so please come back at that time. Thank you.